My name is Douglas Hadley. I live in Richmond, Virginia, in the United States, and I'm a retired physician. So I'm 70 years old, so I probably represent that group of people that for them, music is an avocation. It's something that I do because I love to do it. It's part of my life, and in part, that's what led me to the training at Musical U, was to try to improve some of my skills. I felt like what was missing in my musical life was, I really had never been trained in ear training. And, I'd always studied classical music. And, this was something that I felt like I needed to add back to what I was doing to try to help me. I could play with sheet music. I can obviously play very well, play very difficult piano compositions, but even to do something, say, just as a simple folk song to play for my grandsons, I couldn't do it. And so I felt like I needed to find a way to get away from the sheet music at times. Obviously, I'm not going to do that completely, but wanted to try to explore that a bit. And then also, ultimate goal would be to see if I can do some improvisation. Again, to say, want to get away from the tyranny of the sheet music. So that was kind of why I was looking for ear training and improvisation resources. Of those services that I found, Musical U seemed to have a very comprehensive approach to it, but could start out at some very simple basic levels. And I needed that. And so that was very useful for me, which is why I decided to join Musical U for my ear training. In the beginning, it was very simple, just learning how to, listen to basic intervals. But as I got more and more experience with that and got more and more confidence, well, then I could see, we've got to go to more things like scales, like chords and chord progressions. Because that's really going to, help you more to get all of them. And they're all obviously interrelate to one another. One of the things I really like about the Musical U training modules are the quiz aspects. And I notice on a lot of the modules, what you do is you start out with easy, medium, and then hard, which is great. Because, usually on, like, for example, I'm working right now on the 1-4 progression. So, and you've got it, easy, middle, hard quizzes. So on the easy one, I could get 100% first time through it. So obviously I can hear those chords, but then as I move to the medium and the hard, they become progressively more challenged, but you build up your confidence by Musical U's way of making the material first very simple, but making it progressively harder. That is a very useful training and educational exercise. I felt like I was making progress every day. I could, after a very short period of time, I could either listen to things on the radio or when I would play and could hear, oh, well, there's a minor sixth. That's the key note in that, and that sort of thing. So the accomplishments that I can point to at this point, I think I'm much better able to recognize intervals. I can sit down now at the piano and play a simple folk melody or a simple Beatles tune and come up on the spot with a simple harmonization for it, like a song, Oh Susanna, which is a folk tune here in America. I can sit down and play that on the piano and sing it to my grandsons. I could sing those things, but couldn't sit down and translate that into how do I actually sit down and play that? And I can do that now. One of my other accomplishments is I've been able to do a little bit of experimenting with simple improvisations. And that was one of my original goals, was to be able to do some improvisations. So those are some things that I would say before I joined Musical U, I couldn't do it all. I think that Musical U and its training modules can certainly offer a lot to any musician, amateur musicians such as myself that are trying to improve their musical skills. I think my experiences at Musical U have opened up my eyes to some new ways of thinking about music and performing. And I'm very happy that I joined. And it's been a great learning experience for me.